So I have way too many beauty products and I've been trying Project Pan to battle that overconsumption, but it's not going as well as I hoped. So I thought it was time to maybe try something new, switch it up a bit. So I'm trying a label-less bathroom, which is just what it sounds like. I've removed all the labels from my beauty products and I'm figuring out what effect that has on me in my like bathroom routines and my psychology. Like am I noticing it? Is it difficult? Have I felt like all the labels in my bathroom have been subliminally advertising to me over the years? And do I care as much about what I buy if I know I'll just be removing the label when it gets to me? These are the questions we're looking for. So in the last video, I kind of introduced you to the blank shelf challenge, which is kind of laying out the rules and getting started. And in this video, I'm going to be continuing on with that challenge. I'm going to be moving on to my makeup bag, removing labels there, as well as letting you know how I'm getting on with it all. So yeah, grab a cup of tea, we're going to get started. And please do feel free to join in on the challenge. I think you'll love it too. I think one of the most surprising things to me in this challenge is how well the masking tape has stayed on shower products. Like maybe not the most like flat chic look. Like it's not falling off in my hands or anything. It's really working. And I really thought that would be up there, one of the things that was most annoying and irritating about this challenge, so pleasantly surprised. Next we're on to makeup. We are removing the brands from my makeup products. And like I did in the last video, I'm gonna try and really minimalize my makeup collection, just have a core collection for the experiment and make my everyday products blank rather than going through everything I own, which maybe I'll do at a later date if I love the results of the challenge, but until then, we'll just start small because this does take time. Yeah, if I do my makeup as we go through this, then I've got a core collection to work with, right? So this is already rubbing off. This is the Milk Hydro Base Tint and it is shade 5. I also have a shade 2, so I'm gonna make sure I don't rub that off. And someone in my previous video saw me struggling with my toiletries and stuff and recommended using some like acetone nail varnish remover to try and get the labels off. I'm gonna be really careful because I just got a manicure done and they're very festive, very cute. So yeah, borrowed some nail varnish remover. I've got an old sot. Wow, that's working really well. Bit stinky, but it's doing the trick and they're still fine. I think this might actually be a gap in the packaging to let you have a peek at the foundation shade. So I don't think I can get that off, but I'm pretty happy with just the blank bottle. And then I'm also using this Old Milani Conceal and Perfect, which I also regret buying because it contains beeswax and I'm vegan, so it's not something I use. It's just in the Conceal and Perfect range. When I was looking up online, there are other products in that range which are vegan. I think I just got my wires crossed. I think I just got stressed in Superdrug. You know, the security guards really eye you when you're Googling your products. This is peeling off really nice and easy. And I've got 2 foundations because this one's a little bit light, this one's a little bit more tan. So if I mix the two, 89% this and a little smidge of this, and I get the perfect shade. So that's why I've got 2 foundations going on. And yeah, they are debranded. That was really easy. And the label goes in my notebook. I went through this in the last video, but I think it is really handy to keep a notebook just so that you have record of what you bought if any issues arise. I think it looks quite nice like this. The label's already rubbing off and looked a bit tatty, so it actually looks cleaner without it. And this as well. When I was thinking about how much labels and packaging kind of plays into what we buy, I think one of the first examples I thought of which really made me believe that sometimes we pay more for the packaging rather than the product is stuff like foundation. When you look across the shop and see the real variety of ways they package a foundation, it's just very fascinating because at the end of the day, if they were all in glass jars, they would look just so similar. So what is the packaging doing? What is it signifying to us all? Okay, I forgot about this product, but this I've actually been using under my eyes a lot lately before I put on the foundation, so I'll just do a quick demo. It's the MUA Pro Base Correct and Brighten Peach Medium, and I feel like if I ever feel insecure about like my face in photos, it's often like how tired I think I look on my under eyes, and I feel like I've covered it up now, but I've got quite a prominent vein under here, and I feel like when I lose my tan, this is the first place where it feels like really, I don't know, pale and drab, and I have loved this product. So I need to remember the brand and the shade. I hope the shade's on the back because I'm trying not to get rid of the back. Peach Medium, I can come back to this video because I do think that's one of the annoying things. If getting rid of the label means you get rid of the shade and then at the end of it you're trying to figure out what to buy next, and you might buy the wrong shade once this runs out. And that would just be so not in the spirit of this challenge where we're trying to kind of like decenturize ourselves from brands to stop wasting money, but it's okay to repurchase something you love, especially like this is so like cheap and cheerful and lovely. But if I went out and bought the wrong shade and ended up with products I didn't want instead of a product I didn't want because of a challenge like this, I would be pretty miffed with myself. But yeah, this one again looks like a bit more of a nail varnish remover job. So before, oh, that isn't working at all. Don't worry, there's always masking tape. If you really are apprehensive about doing this challenge and don't think you'll like it at all, I think masking tape is the like quickest, most reversible way of doing it. Much better. Okay, next up we will do a bronzer. This one is from Studio London. Got a sticker on here, which I can peel off. And again, we're left with text on the packaging, so hopefully. So this is my bronzer, and it's now unbranded. To be honest, I don't think I really do read my labels much already, because like these are very similar, my bronzer and my blush. They are from different brands. But yeah, I still get a bit muddled with them when I'm looking through my makeup bag. It's a Cheeky Peach blush stick, and the shade's on the bottom, same with the bronzer, so I'm not gonna be too stuck. I'm not getting rid of that. Let's not self-sabotage. A little bit of blush. This is the shade we'll be going for the next week or so. Locking it in, committing down. Okay, it's not exactly the nicest, but yeah. Let's blend that out. What next? I've got my 3Ina brown pencil, which I am gonna use. I have such hooded eyes. If I ever use top liner, it just always ends up transferring. So I just give myself a little flick. It just like adds a bit of nice shape to my eye without me faffing about too much. So it takes me a while to get through eyeliner because I don't use a lot of it. But yeah, I think this is another job for the nail varnish remover. It's funny how fast some of them come off and then others are like the biggest slog ever. That was so fast and easy. And finally, we'll start with one lipstick. This one I found, I can't remember if it was in a coat or a bag, but I found this lipstick. It's a Kosas one, and I absolutely love it. Like, that colour is really nice. It's super hydrating. Like, this is meant to be magnetic, but it's so dead and it always comes apart in my bag. Maybe it needs just a little cleanup. It just feels like a design flaw, and it doesn't last super long either. But it's quite easy to apply on the go, so if I'm like walking about, I can literally slop it on and dab it about, and I feel quite confident with how it will look. But I enjoy this lipstick. It really does feel nourishing on the lips, but it just keeps coming apart in my pocket, and I just wouldn't rebuy it again because of that. That feels a bit better, but I'm not all that confident on it. But yeah, it's got a little label here. Yeah, nice. I also have this eyeshadow palette, which is already well rubbed off, so I don't really need to worry about that. It was MUA, I can see on the back, and I don't mind the back label, that's fine. It's just the front ones I'm trying to get rid of. Okay, so this is my makeup bag sorted. Quite weird seeing them all go in, isn't it? You're just not used to seeing this many unbranded products. One of my favourite things easily about this challenge is having no labels on your products makes it so much easier to see how full they are. Like, this shower gel has this much left. Normally that's kind of like covered by label, and then it'll only be when it gets below the label you're like, oh my god, no, I'm nearly out. So yeah, that's definitely one big win of the challenge when you got products like this. And then also, I feel like this is probably one of my favourite label-less products just because the product itself is so pretty. So it's like the label is getting in the way of this beautiful, sparkly, golden shower gel. But it also made me think, like, if you removed labels or standardised bottles in the beauty industry so that people couldn't, like, encourage us to overconsume by over-marketing the product, we'd end up with way more formulas like this one from Lush. Like, Lush already are kind of like on that very minimal label advertising sort of hype, with everything being like a bottle like this with a label on it or one of their black pots. So to make their products stand out in such standard packaging, they go over the top on colours and fragrances and fun names and stuff. And yeah, I just thought it was quite interesting. It was a good example of how making plainer bottles would shape the industry. Would we just have a load of sorry, bath gurgling. But yeah, would we just have a load of shampoos and conditioners that look the same on the shelves? No, they would do everything to make their products stand out even still, because that's how business works. I will say, taking away the labels doesn't completely like erase the aesthetics of a product. You can definitely still go to shops and look at products and think, oh, what would that look like without a label on, and will that suit my aesthetic? Like if you are someone who's already like shopping with shelfies in mind, like you like colourful displays or minimalist displays or gold accents or stuff like that, this challenge isn't gonna fix that issue, because even when you take the label off, you can still find yourself shopping to aesthetics rather than for products, which isn't the way to get the best products for your skin type or hair type or skin colouring or whatever. Like, I'd say I feel like I've noticed change the least in my makeup bag, just because I don't think you really look at the products as much. Like, I do keep mine in a makeup bag so they aren't on display to me like every time I go to the bathroom or anything. I will say it's like the bathroom and the shower stuff that I am noticing a bit more, like the influence of having a quieter layout in my bathroom and not having so many brands on display all the time. So I do think there is something in it. I do think there is something in the way that our brands are advertising to us in our own bathrooms, and that it can help to challenge that. And if you are someone who feels like overstimulated a lot, I guess maybe it would be a really good challenge for you. I do however feel like we need to accept that it's not always practical to get rid of labels. There are definitely some products I've just been like hiding away and refusing to use during this challenge rather than delabel and continue as normal. Oh, hello. How you doing, baby? Like, I have two body sprays here. One is honey scented, the other one is lavender scented. And if I remove these labels, these would look identical. And I would not be making my life any easier, any more enjoyable. I would just be pissing myself off all the time trying to get the right scent. And I don't even think I can figure it out just by sniffing the nozzles all the time. It's just like, do I really want to make my life that much more difficult? And I guess I could just like maybe rub off the Lush thing at the very bottom, but the font and the shape is already so lush. I'm just not out to make my life that much more difficult. And I think this is already highlighting something about like brand loyalty. It would be really, really hard to do this challenge with a lot of loyalty to brands, especially like across skincare. Like, I'm using a Medik8 product at the moment, and a lot of their products look really, really similar. And if I were to erase all of the writing on all of those products, like, you could get so confused between like a retinol, a cleanser, a nourishing night cream, and eye cream. And some of these products really aren't to be messed with. You don't want to be putting yourself at risk and using like the wrong product on your face. You don't want to be mixing your retinol with anything. So I think sometimes you just have to have a little bit of common sense with this challenge. Also, it's like that whole brand loyalty thing is like, sometimes it can be good to challenge it. Like, why are you loyal to this brand? Like, is it the marketing? Is it the mystique they're selling? Is it the aesthetic and lifestyle you think you're buying into? Or is it just making your life easier and your skin healthier by buying from the same brand? It's so much easier to build a routine that's safe for your skin within a brand rather than going here, there and everywhere. So there can be benefit to brand loyalty. Or for example, when I buy from Lush, I'm not just buying from Lush because I like the colourful, smelly, exciting, fun aesthetic of it all. I'm buying from them because they are a much better brand than most beauty brands on the high street. I love that they're vegan and cruelty free. Like, they care so much about sustainable sourcing and political messaging and staying independent on the British high street. Like, there is so much I love when I buy into Lush, which isn't just about like buying a brand that gives me an aesthetic. It's about supporting a brand that's doing business better. And if this challenge is encouraging me to shop less from Lush because every time I take off a label, I'm making my routine so much more confusing, because how many unlabeled little black pots can you have before you lose your mind? It's just like stuff like that in this challenge, which I don't think is going particularly well for me and is putting me off maybe committing to this challenge. Because, like, not to brag, but what I feel like I look for in brands isn't really a bad thing. I think I'm looking at what you should be looking at when you buy products. I think it is just a question of like, why are you buying into a brand? Like I feel like there are so many brands out there which are trying to sell you a vibe and a lifestyle, like whether that be Clean Girl or like Girl Boss or Beach Babe. Like, those are the sort of brands you kind of want to disconnect from, because when you're buying a shampoo, you aren't buying a lifestyle. I can buy a Beach Babe shampoo, but that doesn't mean I now live by a beach. And it doesn't really make my hair any beachier either, because generally that comes from being in the sea a lot and having like the sun dry out your hair. It's not really something you can bottle and sell as much as people want you to. Similarly, if I buy like a Clean Girl brand, I'm not suddenly going to have my life together and be great at Pilates. That comes through other lifestyle choices other than the skincare I use and the lip balm I have. I think this is a really good challenge for beating those sort of brand loyalties. But the brand loyalties I have, which is buying from brands that are trying to do things a bit better, that care about being cruelty-free and vegan, or reducing their packaging, or being independent, stuff like that. Like, that's not stuff I want to disconnect from. I don't want people thinking that I could have just gone and bought L'Oreal instead of Lush and it's the same product, because I know the impact of buying from L'Oreal versus Lush, and I know I'd be so much happier with my money ending up with Lush. And I hope that makes sense. There are a lot of things I'm enjoying on this challenge, but there are also things I'm not loving, and I'm not really feeling confident I'm going to continue with this. But we'll see, because I will continue with this challenge, because I think sometimes challenges like this, especially when they take quite a bit of effort up front, the first week can be the week where you feel really annoyed, and it's only like a couple of weeks later that you start to notice the real benefits. So we'll see.
Hey Jess. Hey, yeah.
So much of my life is branded. Even this dressing gown is from an Oatly event, the Oatly Spa. And now they're a brand that I boycott, so if anyone's got an idea, like maybe I can pick the stitches in this or cover it up. If anyone's got any idea on how to transform it, it's obviously not the end of the world, but it's just a bit annoying. Okay, so that is it for this week. I'm still so undecided about my thoughts on this challenge, so I'm definitely keen to give it a little while before the next update, just so I can really sit with it and figure out how I really feel about it. If anyone else has been playing along, doing the challenge alongside me, let me know how you're finding it. Let me know what your favourite things and least favourite things are, because I think this is one of those challenges that maybe I won't fully stick to it going forward, but I think there will be elements of it going forward that I stick to. So yeah, we'll see. And I'm really excited to see whether or not my opinion changes on some of these things in a week or two. Hit subscribe if you want to follow along, and I'll see you next time. Bye. Mwah.